Hello boys and girls, welcome to Easy Learning Simplified. So today we are going to discuss whole numbers. Under whole numbers we are going to talk about rounding off numbers. So once again, this is something we have done in our previous classes. We have discussed how to round off numbers to the nearest tens, to the nearest hundreds, thousand, all the way up to the nearest hundreds of thousands. So at this juncture, we are going to discuss how to round off numbers. That is in grade 7. We are going to discuss how to round off numbers to the nearest millions and to the nearest hundreds of millions. So maybe to introduce, maybe all this while you have never bothered to ask, what's the meaning of rounding off? Someone to try? What's the meaning of rounding off? Yeah, because of time, maybe to give you a rough idea under introduction, a rough idea of what we mean by rounding off. So rounding off a number means or implies, or rather let me use the word means, writing a number to a certain significant figures, in order to achieve the required, to achieve or attain or achieve the required degree of accuracy. The required degree of accuracy. Yeah, maybe you are doing measurements of something, you are taking masses of children in school, you are allocating money, maybe when the government is allocating funds to various projects, they rely on this concept of rounding off to avoid some errors that can be avoided. So when you round off, you are writing a number or a whole number to a certain number of significant figures in order to achieve the required degree of accuracy. So in rough, primarily that's what we mean by rounding off. So at this level, we are going to discuss rounding off numbers to the nearest millions, tens of millions, and hundreds of millions. So in this session, we shall discuss how to round off numbers to the nearest millions. So before you round off, you need to appreciate once again the concept of place value. Because for you to round off a number to the nearest certain place value, there is what we call this place value of interest. Place value of interest will give you the digit you will have to consider before you round off a number to the stated place value. Are we communicating? Yeah. For example, when you have a number like, you have been told to round off the number below, round off the number below to the nearest, say, thousands, the nearest thousands. And our number is, say, 350,694. And you have been asked to round off this number to the nearest thousands. So what do I call the place value of interest? In your previous classes, your class teacher must have, not really your class teacher, your mathematics teacher must have taught you that, for example, to round off this number to the nearest thousand, first of all, you must be able to identify the digit in the place value, thousands. For example, in this case, class, what is the, Peter, what is the digit in the place value of thousands? 0. Good. Because this is ones, tens, hundreds. So our digit in the place value of thousands is 0. Once you have identified the digit in the required place value, or the place value you're supposed to be rounding the number to, identify the digit that precedes it. The digit that precedes that number, preceding implies the digit that comes before that number from your right. So which digit comes before 0? Yes, Christine? 6, correct. So the number 6 comes before 0, and its place value is hundreds. Therefore, to round off a number to the nearest thousand, our place value of the interest becomes hundreds. So if the digit in the place value of interest is 5 and above, in other words, it's 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 9, then you round up by adding 1 to the stated place value. Are we communicating? Yeah, for example, in this case, our stated place value is thousands. So if this digit in our place value of interest, in this case, is 6, if it is 5 and above, we shall add 1, that is rounding up by adding 1. If that digit is 4 and below, then its effect on the next number is negligible. In other words, we round down by replacing the digits before the stated place value by 0. Are we communicating? Maybe to show you what I'm saying in so many words, it's very simple. It's very, very simple. So here, we are rounding off the number to the nearest thousands. Our place value of interest is hundreds. And what is the digit in that place value of interest? Is 6. 6 is 5 and above. 6 is 5 and above. That implies we shall round up by adding 1 to the next digit. So we shall add 1 here. Then we replace the rest of the digits with 0. So here we have 0, 0, 0, 1, 5, 3. So that is 351,000. Next example. Same, still rounding up to the nearest thousands. We can have 441,634. So what is the digit in the place value of thousands? The digit in the place value of thousands is 1. So we look at the digit that precedes it, or the digit that comes before that 1. And that digit is what, Angela? 6, correct. So 6 is again 5 and above. So that implies we add 1 in our subsequent number. And the rest of the digits before 1 are replaced with 0. So we have 2, 4, 4. That is 442,000. Another example. But see, you can be given a number like 121,302 to be rounded off to the nearest thousand. I'm just using this to remind you, before we go to millions, to remind you of what you did in your previous classes. So we have 121,302. The first thing, identify the digit in the stated place value, and our stated place value is thousands. Once you have done that, identify the digit in your place value of interest. And I've said the place value of interest is the place value that precedes the stated place value. Or in other words, the place value that comes before the place value you are required to round that particular number to. So in this case, the digit in the stated place value is 1, thousands. And the digit in our place value of interest, or in other words, the place value that precedes the place value of stated place value, is 3. Are we together? Good. So 3 is 4 and below. So if the digit in the place value of interest is 4 and below, then it will not hold any water. In other words, it cannot affect the next digit. So we round down by replacing these other digits by 0, and we retain the next digit the way it is. So here we shall have the last 3 digits being replaced by 0. Then we have 1, 2, 1. So this is 121,000. Are we together, class? Good. That's encouraging. Now, Our topic today, or substrand, is rounding off to the nearest millions. Now let us look at an example on how to round up a number to the nearest millions. This was number 1. Let's have number 2. Round off the following numbers to the nearest millions. A, we have 679,403. 679,403. So we want to round off that number to the nearest million. So step one. So if you are keen enough, you realize that in this case, we do not have a digit in the stated place value. The stated place value is millions, but the last place value as per this question is hundreds of thousands. So in that case, forget about the digit in the stated place value and just identify the digit in the place value of interest. So when you are rounding off to the nearest millions, your place value of interest becomes what, Paul? What is your place value of interest? Or in other words, which digit are you supposed to consider? Yes? Good. The digit in the place value of hundreds of thousands. So here we consider the digit in the place value. Allow me to denote place value by PV in the place value of hundreds of thousands. Our digit, that is IE, that is 6. So, and we said that if the digit identified, or if the digit in the place value of interest is 5 and above, then we round up by adding 1 to the next digit. In as much as here, the digit in the stated place value is not given, we shall assume it as 0. Then you add 1 to that 0. Are we communicating? Good. So this is our number. Our number is 679,403. And the digit in our place value of interest is 6. It is 5 and above. That implies that we add 1 to the next digit, which is 0. So we shall add 1 to the next digit that is not there. So then we replaced the rest of the numbers by 0. So 1 add 0 is 1. Then we replace the rest of all these numbers by 0. And you'll get, is it? Yeah, to the nearest millions. Yeah, it is 1 million. 1 million. So if you round off 679,000 to the nearest million, you'll get 1 million. But B, you can have a number like 12,403,331. 12,403,331. So you can see here, if our digit in the place value of interest is 5 and above, we are rounding up. In other words, the value of our number goes up. The number was initially 679,403. After rounding up, we got a million. Are we communicating? Good. If the digit in the place value of interest is 4 and below, we shall round down. In other words, you will realize that the value of your number will go down. Let us see that in this example. So here, you're supposed to round off this number to the nearest millions. So what is our place value of interest? Our place value of interest is hundreds of thousands. So we identify the digit in the place value of hundreds of thousands, and in this case, it is 4. So 4 is 4 and below. It's actually less than 5. That means we shall round the number down by replacing the rest of the numbers by 0, but we are not adding anything in the next number because our digit in the place value of interest is below 5. So we shall have all these replaced by 0, 0, 0, 0, 12, 1. So our number initially was 12,403,331. But after rounding off, we are ending up with 12 million flat. Why? Because the digit in the place value of interest was below 5. So we rounded it down. That's why the value has decreased. Are we together? Any question? Any question up to that point? Yeah, if you don't have any question, maybe I can give you some for you to try for your personal revision. Now you know what we mean by rounding off, so you can try the following during your free time. Part A can have 2,304,667. Part B can have 534,100. Part C can have 3,200. Then part D, you can have 4,900,602. So trying rounding all these numbers to the nearest million and see what you get. Identify instances where the value is going down and instances where the value of the number is going up. And if the value of the number is going down, that means that the digit in your place value of interest was below 5. But if you end up with a bigger value, then that implies that the digit in your place value of interest was 5 and above. Are we together? Yeah, so that marks the end of our session regarding rounding off of numbers to the nearest millions. Let's meet next time in our next session where we shall discuss how to round off numbers to the nearest tens of millions.